Shalom, and welcome back to the Cepher Daily Readings. I am Trish. Thank you so much for stopping by to follow along. All praise and glory to the Most High Yah in the name of the Son, Yahusha HaMashiach. I pray this is a blessing to you and may it glorify our Father and the Word that became flesh and then hung and bled and died for our sins. Thank you, Yahusha. Thank you, Father. We are in Jubilees, Yovheliym, chapter 19. And in the first year of the first week, in the 42nd Jubilee, Abraham returned and dwelt opposite Hebron, that is Kiryat Arba, 2 weeks of years. And in the first year of the third week of this Jubilee, the days of the life of Sarah were accomplished, and she died in Hebron. And Abraham went to mourn over her and bury her. And we tried him to see if his Ruach were patient, and he were not indignant in the words of his mouth. And he was found patient in this, and was not disturbed. For in patience of the Ruach he conversed with the children of Heth, to the intent that they should give him a place in which to bury his dead. And Yahuwah gave him grace before all who saw him. And he besought in gentleness the sons of Heth, and they gave him the land of the double cave over against Mamre, that is Hebron, for 400 pieces of silver. And they besought him, saying, We shall give it to you for nothing. But he would not take it from their hands for nothing, for he gave the price of the place, the money in full. And he bowed down before them twice. And after this he buried his dead in the double cave. And all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years. That is 2 Jubilees and 4 weeks and 1 year. These are the days of the years of the life of Sarah. This is the 10th trial wherewith Abraham was tried, and he was found faithful, patient in the Ruach. And he said not a single word regarding the rumor in the land, how that Elohim had said that he would give it to him and to his seed after him. And he begged a place there to bury his dead, for he was found faithful and was recorded on the heavenly tablets as the friend of Elohim. And in the 4th year thereof, he took a woman for his son Yitzchak, and her name was Rivkah, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nachor, the brother of Abraham, the sister of Laban, and daughter of Bethuel. And Bethuel was the son of Milcah, who was the woman of Nachor, the brother of Abraham. And Abraham took to himself a third woman, and her name was Keturah, from among the daughters of his household servants. For Hagar had died before Sarah, and she bore him 6 sons, Zimran, and Yokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Yishbak, and Shuach, in the 2 weeks of years. And in the 6th week, in the 2nd year thereof, Rivkah bore to Yitzchak 2 sons, Yaakov and Esau. And Yaakov was a smooth and upright man, and Esau was fierce, a man of the field, and hairy. And Yaakov dwelt in tents. And the youths grew, and Yaakov learned to write. But Esau did not learn, for he was a man of the field, and a hunter. And he learned war, and his deeds were fierce. And Abraham loved Yaakov, but Yitzchak loved Esau. And Abraham saw the deeds of Esau, and he knew that in Yaakov should his name and seed be called. And he called Rivkah, and gave commandment regarding Yaakov, for he knew that she too loved Yaakov much more than Esau. And he said unto her, My daughter, watch over my son Yaakov, for he shall be in my stead on the earth, and for a blessing in the midst of the children of men, and for the glory of the whole seed of Shem. For I know that Yahuwah will choose him to be a people for possession unto himself, above all peoples that are upon the face of the earth. And behold, Yitzchak, my son, loves Esau more than Yaakov, but I see that you truly love Yaakov. Add still further to your kindness to him, and let your eyes be upon him in love. For he shall be a blessing unto us on the earth from henceforth, unto all generations of the earth. Let your hands be strong, and let your heart rejoice in your son Yaakov. For I have loved him far beyond all my sons. He shall be blessed forever, and his seed shall fill the whole earth. If a man can number the sand of the earth, his seed also shall be numbered. And all the blessings wherewith Yahuwah has blessed me, and my seed shall belong to Yaakov, and his seed always. And in his seed shall my name be blessed, and the name of my fathers, Shem, and Noach, and Hanok, and Mahalel, and Enosh, and Sheth, and Adam. And these shall serve to lay the foundations of the heaven, and to strengthen the earth, and to renew all the luminaries which are in the expanse. And he called Yaakov before the eyes of Rivkah his mother, and kissed him, and blessed him, and said, Yaakov, my Yachid, whom my soul loves, may Elohim bless you from above the expanse, and may he give you all the blessings wherewith he blessed Adam, and Hanok, and Noach, and Shem, and all the things of which he told me, and all the things which he promised to give me. May he cause to cleave to you and to your seed forever, according to the days of heaven above the earth. And the Ruhot of Mastema shall not rule over you or over your seed to turn you from Yahuwah, who is your Elohim, from henceforth forever. And may Yahuwah Elohim be a father to you, and you the firstborn son, and to the people always. Go in peace, my son. And they both went forth together from Abraham. And Rivkah loved Yaakov with all her heart and with all her soul, very much more than Esau. But Yitzhak loved Esau much more than Yaakov. Chapter 20. And in the 42nd Jubilee, in the first year of the 7th week, Abraham called Yishmael and his 12 sons, and Yitzhak and his 2 sons, and the 6 sons of Keturah and their sons. And he commanded them that they should observe the way of Yahuwah, that they should work righteousness and love each other and love each his neighbor, and act on this manner amongst all men, that they should each so walk with regard to them as to do judgment and righteousness on the earth, that they should circumcise their sons according to the covenant which he had made with them, and not deviate to the right or the left of all the paths to the right hand or the left of all the paths which Yahuwah had commanded us, and that we should guard ourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and renounce from amongst us all fornication and uncleanness. And if any woman or maid would commit fornication amongst you, burn her with fire, and let them not commit fornication with her after their eyes and their heart, and let them not to take to themselves women from the daughters of Canaan. For the seed of Canaan will be rooted out of the land. And he told them of the judgment of the Nephilim and the judgment of the Sedomim, how they had been judged on account of their wickedness, and had died on account of their fornication and uncleanness, and mutual corruption through fornication. And guard yourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and from all pollution of sin, lest you make our name a curse, and your whole life a hissing, and all your sons to be destroyed by the sword, and you become accursed like Sedom, and all your remnants as the sons of Amorah. I implore you, my sons, love the Elohim of heaven, and cleave you to all his commandments, and walk not after their idols, and after their uncleanness, and make not for yourselves molten or graven Elohim, for they are vanity, and there is no ruach in them, for they are work of men's hands, and all who trust in them trust in nothing. Serve them not, nor worship them, but serve you El Elyon, and worship him continually, and hope for his countenance always, and work uprightness and righteousness before him, that he may have pleasure in you and grant you his mercy, and send rain upon you morning and evening, and bless all your works which you have wrought upon the earth, and bless your bread and your water, and bless the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, and the herds of your cattle, and the flocks of your sheep. And you will be a blessing on the earth, and all the nations of the earth will desire you, and bless your sons in my name, that they may be blessed as I am. And he gave to Ishmael and to his sons, and to the sons of Keturah gifts, and sent them away from Yitzhak his son. And he gave everything to Yitzhak his son. And Ishmael and his sons, and the sons of Keturah, and their sons, went together and dwelt from Paran to the entering in of Babel, in all the land which is towards the east facing the desert. And these mingled with each other, and their names was called Abarim and Yishmaelim. Chapter 21. And in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Jubilee, Abraham called Yitzhak his son, and commanded him, saying, I am become old, and know not the day of my death, and am full of my days. And behold, I am 175 years old, and throughout all the days of my life I have remembered Yahuwah, and sought with all my heart to do his will, and to walk uprightly in all his ways. My soul has hated idols, given my heart and ruach, that I might observe to do the will of him who created me. For he is the living Elohim, and he is holy and faithful, and he is righteous beyond all. And there is with him no accepting of men's persons, and no accepting of gifts. For Elohim is righteous, and executes judgment on all those who transgress his commandments, and despise his covenant. And do you, my son, observe his commandments, and his ordinances, and his judgments, and walk not after the abominations, and after graven images, and after the molten images, and eat no blood at all of animals or cattle, or of any bird which flies in the heaven. And if you do slay a victim as an acceptable peace offering, slay you it, and pour out its blood upon the altar, and all the fat of the offering offer on the altar with fine flour, and the oblation mingled with oil, with its drink offering, offer them all together on the altar of the ascending smoke offering. It is a sweet savor before Yahuwah. And you will offer the fat of the sacrifice of thank offerings on the fire which is upon the altar, and the fat which is on the belly, and all the fat on the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and all the fat that is upon them, and upon the loins and liver you shall remove, together with the kidneys. And offer all these for a sweet savor acceptable before Yahuwah, with its oblation and with its drink offering, for a sweet savor, the bread of the offering unto Yahuwah. And eat its meat on that day and on the 2nd day, and let not the sun on the 2nd day go down upon it until it is eaten. And let nothing be left over for the 3rd day, for it is not acceptable, for it is not approved, and let it no longer be eaten. And all who eat thereof will bring sin upon themselves. For thus I have found it written in the Cepher Reading of my forefathers, and in the words of Hanok, and in the words of Noach. And on all your oblations you shall strew salt, and let not the salt of the covenant be lacking in all your oblations before Yahuwah. And as regards the wood of the sacrifices, beware lest you bring other wood for the altar in addition to these: cypress, bay, almond, fir, pine, cedar, savin, fig, olive, myrrh, laurel, aspelothus. And of these kinds of wood lay upon the altar under the sacrifice, such as have been tested as to their appearance, and do not lay thereon any split or dark wood, but hard and clean, without fault, a sound and new growth, and do not lay thereon old wood, for its fragrance is gone, for there is no longer fragrance in it as before. Besides these kinds of wood, there is no other that you shall place on the altar, for the fragrance is dispersed, and the smell of its fragrance goes not up to heaven. Observe this commandment and do it, my son, that you may be upright in all your deeds, and at all times be clean in your body, and wash yourself with water before you approach to offer on the altar, and wash your hands and your feet before you draw near to the altar. And when you are done sacrificing, wash again your hands and your feet. And let no blood appear upon you, nor upon your clothes. Be on your guard, my son, against blood. Be on your guard exceedingly. Cover it with dust. And do not eat any blood, for it is the soul. Eat no blood whatsoever. And take no gifts for the blood of man, lest it be shed with impunity, without judgment. For it is the blood that is shed that causes the earth to sin. And the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood of man, save by the blood of him who shed it. And take no present or gift for the blood of man, blood for blood, that you may be accepted before Yahuwah El Elyon. For he is the defense of the good, and that you may be preserved from all evil, and that he may save you from every kind of death. I see, my son, that all the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness, and all their deeds are uncleanness and an abomination and a pollution, and there is no righteousness with them. Beware, lest you should walk in their ways and tread in their paths, and sin a sin unto death before El Elyon. Else he will hide his face from you and give you back into the hands of your transgression, and root you out of the land, and your seed likewise from under heaven, and your name and your seed shall perish from the whole earth. Turn away from all their deeds and all their uncleanness, and observe the ordinance of El Elyon, and do his will, and be upright in all things. And he will bless you in all your deeds, and will raise you up from you a plant of righteousness through all the earth, throughout all generations of the earth. And my name and your name shall not be forgotten under heaven forever. Go, my son, in peace. May El Elyon, my Elohim, and your Elohim strengthen you to do this will, and may he bless all your seed and the remnant of your seed for the generations forever, with all righteous blessings, that you may be a blessing on all the earth. And he went out from him rejoicing. Chapter 22. And it came to pass in the first week in the 44th Jubilee, in the second year, that is, the year in which Abraham died, that Yitzhak and Yishmael came from the well of the oath to celebrate the feast of Shavuot, that is, the feast of the first fruits of the harvest to Abraham, their father. And Abraham rejoiced because his two sons had come. For Yitzhak had many possessions in Be'er Sheba, and Yitzhak was wont to go and see his possessions, and to return to his father. And in those days Yishmael came to see his father. And they both came together, and Yitzhak offered a sacrifice for an ascending smoke offering, and presented it on the altar of his father, which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a thank offering, and made a feast of joy before Yishmael, his brother. And Ribkah made new cakes from the new grain, and gave them to Yaakov, her son, to take them to Abraham, his father, from the first fruits of the land, that he might eat and bless the Creator of all things before he died. And Yitzhak, too, sent by the hand of Yaakov to Abraham a best thank offering, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank, and blessed El Elyon, who has created heaven and earth, who has made all the fat things of the earth, and given them to the children of men, that they might eat and drink and bless their Creator. And now I give thanks unto you, my Elohim, because you have caused me to see this day. Behold, I am 160 years, an old man and full of days, and all my days have been unto me peace. The sword of the adversary has not overcome me in all that you have given me, and my children all the days of my life until this day. My Elohim, may your mercy and your peace be upon your servant, and upon the seed of his sons, that they may be to you a chosen nation and an inheritance from amongst all the nations of the earth, from henceforth unto all the days of the generations of the earth. unto all the ages. And he called Yaakov and said, My son Yaakov, may the Elohim of all bless you and strengthen you to do righteousness, and his will before him, and may he choose you and your seed, that you may become a people for his inheritance according to his will always. And do you, my son Yaakov, draw near and kiss me. And he drew near and kissed him. And he said, Blessed be my son Yaakov and all the sons of Elyon unto all the ages. May Elohim give unto you a seed of righteousness, and some of your own sons may he sanctify in the midst of the whole earth. May nations serve you, and all the nations bow themselves before your seed. Be strong in the presence of men, and exercise authority over all the seed of Sheth. Then your ways and the ways of your sons will be justified, so that they shall become a holy nation. May El Elyon give you all the blessings wherewith he has blessed me, and wherewith he blessed Noach and Adam. May they rest on the sacred head of your seed from generation to generation forever. And may he cleanse you from all unrighteousness and impurity, that you may be forgiven all the transgressions which you have committed ignorantly. And may he strengthen you and bless you, and may you inherit the whole earth. And may he renew his covenant with you, that you may be to him a nation for his inheritance for all the ages, and that he may be to you and to your seed an Elohim in truth and righteousness throughout all the days of the earth. And do you, my son Yaakov, remember my words and observe the commandments of Abraham your father. Separate yourself from the nations, and eat not with them, and do not according to their works, and become not their associate. For their works are unclean, and all their ways are a pollution, and an abomination, and uncleanness. They offer their sacrifices to the dead, and they worship evil ruach, and they eat over the graves. And all their works are vanity and nothingness. They have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not see what their works are, and how they err in saying to a piece of wood, You are my Elohim, and to a stone, You are my Adonai, and you are my deliverer. And they have no heart. And as for you, my son Yaakov, may El Elyon help you, and the Elohim of heaven bless you, and remove you from their uncleanness and from all their error. Be you ware, my son Yaakov, of taking a woman from any seed of the daughters of Canaan, for all his seed is to be rooted out of the earth. For, owing to the transgression of Ham, Canaan erred, and all his seed should be destroyed from off the earth, and all the remnants thereof. And none springing from him shall be saved on the day of judgment. And as for all the worshippers of idols and the profane, there shall be no hope for them in the land of the living. And there shall be no remembrance of them on the earth, for they shall descend into Sheol, and into the place of condemnation shall they go. As the children of Sedom were taken away from the earth, so will all those who worshipped idols be taken away. Fear not, my son Yaakov, and be not dismayed, O son of Abraham. May El Elyon guard you from destruction, and from all the paths of error may he deliver you. This house have I built for myself, that I might put my name upon it in the earth. It is given to you and to your seed forever, and it will be named the house of Abraham. It is given to you and to your seed forever. For you will build my house, and establish my name before Elohim forever. Your seed and your name will stand throughout all generations of the earth. And he ceased commanding him and blessing him. And the two lay together on one bed, and Yaakov slept in the bosom of Abraham, his father's father. And he kissed him 7 times, and his affection and his heart rejoiced over him. And he blessed him with all his heart, and said, El Elyon, the Elohim of all, and creator of all, who brought me forth from Ur of the Kasdiim, that he might give me this land to inherit it forever, and that I might establish a holy seed. Blessed be El Elyon forever. And he blessed Yaakov and said, My son, over whom with all my heart and my affection I rejoice, may your grace and your mercy be lifted up upon him and upon his seed always. And do not forsake him, nor set him at naught from henceforth unto the days of eternity. And may your eyes be opened upon him and upon his seed, that you may guard him and bless him, and may sanctify him as a nation for your inheritance, and bless him with all your blessings from henceforth unto all the days of eternity. And renew your covenant and your grace with him and with his seed according to all your good pleasure unto all the generations of the earth. Chapter 23. And he placed 2 fingers of Yaakov on his eyes, and he blessed the Elohim of Elohim, and he covered his face and stretched out his feet and slept the sleep of eternity, and was gathered to his fathers. And notwithstanding all this, Yaakov was lying in his bosom, and he knew not that Abraham, his father's father, was dead. And Yaakov awoke from his sleep, and behold, Abraham was cold as ice. And he said, Father, Father. But there was none that spoke, and he knew that he was dead. And he arose from his bosom, and ran and told Ribkah, his mother. And Ribkah went to Yitzchak in the night, and told him. And they went together, and Yaakov with them. And a lamp was in his hand. And when they had gone in, they found Abraham lying dead. And Yitzchak fell on the face of his father, and wept, and kissed him. And the voices were heard in the house of Abraham. And Ishmael his son arose, and went to Abraham his father, and wept over Abraham his father, he and all the house of Abraham. And they wept with a great weeping. And his sons Yitzchak and Ishmael buried him in the double cave, near Sarah his woman. And they wept for him 40 days, all the men of his house, and Yitzchak and Ishmael, and all their sons, and all the sons of Keturah in their places. And the days of weeping for Abraham were ended. And he lived 3 jubilees and 4 weeks of years, 175 years, and completed the days of his life, being old and full of days. For the days of the forefathers of their life were 19 jubilees, and after the flood they began to grow less than 19 jubilees, and to decrease in jubilees, and to grow old quickly, and to be full of their days by reason of manifold tribulation, and the wickedness of their ways, with the exception of Abraham. For Abraham was perfect in all his deeds with Yahuwah, and well-pleasing in righteousness all the days of his life. And behold, he did not complete 4 jubilees in his life, when he had grown old by reason of the wickedness, and was full of his days. And all the generations which shall arise from this time until the day of the great judgment shall grow old quickly, before they complete 2 jubilees, and their knowledge shall forsake them by reason of their old age, and all their knowledge shall vanish away. And in those days, if a man live a jubilee and a half of years, they shall say regarding him, he has lived long, and the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow and tribulation, and there is no peace. For calamity follows on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil report on evil report, and illness on illness, and evil judgments such as these, one with another, illness and overthrow, and snow and frost and ice, and fever and chills, and torpor, and famine, and death, and sword, and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pains. And all these shall come on an evil generation, which transgresses on the earth. Their works are uncleanness, and fornication, and pollution, and abominations. Then they shall say, the days of the forefathers were many, even unto 1,000 years, and were good. But, behold, The days of our life, if a man has lived many, are 60 years and 10, and if he is strong, 80 years. And those evil, and there is no peace in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation the sons shall convict their fathers and their elders of sin and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickedness which they perpetrate, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which Yahuwah made between them and him, that they should observe and do all his commandments, and his ordinances, and all his Torah, without departing either to the right hand or the left. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaks iniquity, and all their works are an uncleanness and an abomination, and all their ways are pollution, uncleanness, and destruction. Behold, the earth shall be destroyed on account of all their works, and there shall be no seed of the vine, and no oil, for their works are altogether faithless, and they shall all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds, and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men. And they shall strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, the lowly with the great, the beggar with the prince, on account of the Torah and the covenant. For they have forgotten commandment, and covenant, and feasts, and months, and Shabbats, and Jubilees, and all judgments. And they shall stand swords and war to turn them back into the way. Reading verse 20 again. And they shall stand swords and war to turn them back into the way, but they shall not return until much blood has been shed on the earth, one by another. And those who have escaped shall not return from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they shall all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, that they may each take all that is his neighbor's, and they shall name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness. And they shall defile the Holy of Holies with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment shall befall the deeds of this generation from Yahuwah. And he will give them over to the sword, and to judgment, and to captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the sinners of the other nations, who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who shall respect the person of none, neither old nor young, nor anyone. For they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. And they shall use violence against Yasharel, and transgression against Yaakov. And much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they shall cry aloud, and call, and pray, that they may be saved from the hand of the sinners, the other nations. But none shall be saved. And the heads of the children shall be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks shall appear old, like a man of 100 years. And their stature shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days the children shall begin to study the Torah, and to seek the commandments, and to return to the path of righteousness. And the days shall begin to grow many, and increase amongst those children of men, till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years. And to a greater number of years than before was the number of the days. And there shall be no old man, nor one who is satisfied with his days, for all shall be as children and youths. And all their days they shall complete, and live in peace and in joy. And there shall be no Satan, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be days of blessing and healing. And at that time Yahuwah will heal his servants, and they shall rise up and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous shall see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. And their bones shall rest in the earth, And their Ruach shall have much joy, and they shall know that it is Yahuwah who executes judgment and shows mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do you, Moshe, write down these words, for thus they are written, and they record them on the heavenly tablets for a testimony for the generations forever. Chapter 24. And it came to pass, after the death of Abraham, that Yahuwah blessed Yitzchak his son, and he arose from Hebron, and went and dwelt at the well of the vision in the first year of the 3rd week of this Jubilee, 7 years. And in the first year of the 4th week, a famine began in the land, besides the first famine which had been in the days of Abraham. And Yaakov sawed lentil pottage, and Esau came from the field hungry. And he said to Yaakov his brother, Give me of this red pottage. And Yaakov said to him, Sell me your primogeniture, this birthright, and I will give you bread, and also some of this lentil pottage. And Esau said in his heart, I shall die. Of what profit to me is this birthright? And he said to Yaakov, I give it to you. And Yaakov said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And Yaakov gave his brother Esau bread and pottage. And he ate till he was satisfied. And Esau despised his birthright. For this reason was Esau's name called Edom, on account of the red pottage which Yaakov gave him for his birthright. And Yaakov became the elder, and Esau was brought down from his dignity. And the famine was over the land, and Yitzchak departed to go down into Mitzrayim in the 2nd year of this week, and went to the king of the Pelishtim to Gerar, unto Abimelech. And Yahuwah appeared unto him and said unto him, Go not down into Mitzrayim, dwell in the land that I shall tell you of, and sojourn in this land. And I will be with you and bless you. For to you and to your seed will I give all this land. And I will establish my oath, which I swore unto Abraham your father. And I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and will give unto your seed all this land. And in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because your father obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, and my commandments, and my Torah, and my ordinances, and my covenant. And now obey my voice, and dwell in this land. And he dwelt in Gerar 3 weeks of years. And Abimelech charged concerning him, and concerning all that was his, saying, Any man that shall touch him or anything that is his shall surely die. And Yitzchak waxed strong among the Pelishtim, and he got many possessions, oxen and sheep, and camels and asses, and a great household. And he sowed in the land of the Pelishtim, and brought in 100-fold, and Yitzchak became exceedingly great. And the Pelishtim envied him. Now all the wells which the servants of Abraham had dug during the life of Abraham, the Pelishtim had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Yitzchak, Go from us, for you are much mightier than we. And Yitzchak departed thence in the 1st year of the 7th week, and sojourned in the valley of Gerar. And they dug again the wells of water, which the servants of Abraham his father had dug, and which the Pelishtim had closed after the death of Abraham his father. And he called their names as Abraham his father had named them. And the servants of Yitzchak dug a well in the valley, and found living water. And the shepherds of Gerar strove with the shepherds of Yitzchak, saying, The water is ours. And Yitzchak called the name of the well Perversity, because they had been perverse with us. And they dug a 2nd well, and they strove for that also. And he called its name Enmity. And he arose from thence, and they dug another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Room. And Yitzchak said, Now Yahuwah has made room for us, and we have increased in the land. And he went up from thence to the well of the oath in the first year of the first week in the 44th Jubilee. And Yahuwah appeared to him that night on the new moon of the first month, and said unto him, I am the Elohim of Abraham your father. Fear not, for I am with you, and shall bless you, and shall surely multiply your seed as the sand of the earth, for the sake of Abraham my servant. And he built an altar there, which Abraham his father had first built. And he called upon the name of Yahuwah, and he offered sacrifice to the Elohim of Abraham his father. And they dug a well, and they found living water. And the servants of Yitzhak dug another well, and did not find water. And they went and told Yitzhak that they had not found water. And Yitzhak said, I have sworn this day to the Tehilliym, and this thing has been announced to us. And he called the name of that place the well of the oath. For there he had sworn to Abimelech, and Achuzath his friend, Pichol the prefect, and Or his host. And Yitzhak knew that day that under constraint he had sworn to them to make peace with them. And Yitzhak on that day cursed the Tehilliym, and said, Cursed be the Tehilliym unto the day of wrath and indignation from the midst of all nations. May Elohim make them a derision and a curse, and an object of wrath and indignation in the hands of the sinners and the other nations, and in the hands of the Kittim. Whosoever escapes the sword of the enemy and the Kittim, may the righteous nation root out in judgment from under heaven. For they shall be the enemies and foes of my children throughout their generations upon the earth. And no remnant shall be left to them, nor one that shall be saved on the day of the wrath of judgment. For destruction and rooting out and expulsion from the earth is the whole seed of the Tehilliym reserved. And there shall no longer be left for these Caphtorium a name or a seed on the earth. For though he ascends unto heaven, thence shall he be brought down. And though he makes himself strong on earth, thence shall he be dragged forth. And though he hides himself amongst the nations, even from thence shall he be rooted out. And though he descends into Sheol, there also shall his condemnation be great. And there also he shall have no peace. And if he goes into captivity, by the hands of those that seek his life, shall they slay him on the way, and neither name nor seed shall be left to him on all the earth. For into eternal malediction shall he depart. And thus is it written and engraved concerning him on the heavenly tablets, to do unto him on the day of judgment, so that he may be rooted out of the earth. Chapter 25. And in the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, Ribkah called Yaakov, her son, and spoke unto him, saying, My son, do not take you a woman of the daughters of Canaan, as Esau your brother, who took him 2 women of the daughters of Canaan, and they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds. For all their deeds are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness with them, for their deeds are evil. And I, my son, love you exceedingly, and my heart and my affection bless you every hour of the day and watch of the night. And now, my son, hearken to my voice, and do the will of your mother, and do not take you a woman of the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father, and of my father's kindred. You shall take you a woman of the house of my father, and El Elyon will bless you, and your children shall be a righteous generation and a holy seed. And then spoke Yaakov to Ribkah, his mother, and said unto her, Behold, mother, I am 9 weeks of years old, and I neither know nor have I touched any woman, nor have I betrothed myself to any, nor even think of taking me a woman of the daughters of Canaan. For I remember, mother, the words of Abraham, our father, for he commanded me not to take a woman of the daughters of Canaan, but to take me a woman from the seed of my father's house, and from my kindred. I have heard before that daughters have been born to Laban, your brother, and I have set my heart on them to take a woman from amongst them. And for this reason I have guarded myself in my ruach against sinning or being corrupted in all my ways throughout all the days of my life. For with regard to lust and fornication, Abraham, my father, gave me many commands. And despite all that he has commanded me, these 22 years, my brother has striven with me and spoken frequently to me and said, My brother, take to be your woman a sister of my 2 women. But I refuse to do so as he has done. I swear before you, mother, that all the days of my life I will not take me a woman from the daughters of the seed of Canaan, and I will not act wickedly as my brother has done. Fear not, mother. Be assured that I shall do your will and walk in uprightness, and not corrupt my ways forever. And thereupon she lifted up her face to heaven, and extended the fingers of her hands, and opened her mouth, and blessed El Elyon, who had created the heavens and the earth. And she gave him thanks and praise. And she said, Blessed be Yahuwah Elohim, and may his holy name be blessed forever and ever, who has given me Yaakov as a pure son and a holy seed. For he is yours, and yours shall his seed be continually, and throughout all the generations forevermore. Bless him, O Yahuwah, and place in my mouth the blessings of righteousness, that I may bless him. And at that hour, when the Ruach Tzedakah descended into her mouth, she placed both her hands on the head of Yaakov and said, Blessed are you, Yahuwah of righteousness, and Elohim of the ages, and may he bless you beyond all the generations of men. May he give you, my son, the path of righteousness, and reveal righteousness to your seed, and may he make your sons many during your life. And may they arise according to the number of the months of the year, and may their sons become many and great beyond the stars of heaven, and their numbers be more than the sand of the sea. And may he give them his goodly land, as he has said he would give it to Abraham and to his seed after him always. And may they hold it as a possession forever. And may I see born unto you, my son, blessed children during my life, and a blessed and holy seed may all your seed be. And as you have refreshed your mother's ruach during her life, the womb of her that bore you blesses you thus. My affection and my breasts bless you, and my mouth and my tongue praises you greatly, increased and spread over the earth. And may your seed be perfect in the joy of heaven and earth forever. And may your seed rejoice, and on the great day of peace, may it have peace. And may your name and your seed endure to all the ages, and may El Elyon be their Elohim. And may the Elohim of righteousness tabernacle with them, and by them may his sanctuary be built unto all the ages. Blessed be he that blesses you, and all flesh that curses you falsely, may it be cursed. And she kissed him and said to him, May Yahuwah of the world love you as the heart of your mother, and her affection rejoice in you, and bless you. And she ceased from blessing. That is the end of chapter 25. Psalms, Tehilliym, chapter 52. Nasach, maskil of David. When Doeg the enemy came and told Shaul, and said unto him, David is come to the house of Ahimelech. Why boast you yourself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of El endures continually. Your tongue devises mischiefs like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. You love evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Selah. You love all devouring words, O you deceitful tongue. El shall likewise destroy you forever. He shall take you away, and pluck you out of your dwelling place, and root you out of the land of the living. Selah. The righteous also shall see, and fear, and shall laugh at him. Lo, this is the man that made not Elohim his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of Elohim. I trust in the mercy of Elohim forever and ever. I will praise you forever, because you have done it. And I will wait on your name, for it is good before your Yachid. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father. Praise Yah. Praise you, Father, Yahuwah, in the name of the Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Thank you. May this be a blessing to you. Read your Bible from beginning to end. And ask to be filled with the Holy Spirit for discernment, for patience, for love, for obedience, to follow the ways of Yahuwah, his commandments. He is good and he is merciful. He is our creator. Thank you so much for stopping by to follow along. Yah willing, I will see you tomorrow. Shalom.